While tending to his stall, the shopkeeper was suddenly seized by a sharp stomach pain. With no other choice, he entrusted the care of his stall to his beloved dog. Unexpectedly, this scene caught the eye of a man with dishonest intentions. He pretended to inquire about prices, but upon realizing that only a dog was guarding the stall, he immediately began hatching a scheme. Just as the dog was busy weighing some goods, the man slyly propped up the scale pan with his hand, attempting to cheat in order to get a bargain. But the dog instantly sensed that something was amiss. Caught red-handed, the man had no choice but to honestly pay up and purchase a few items. Just then, the shopkeeper returned. Seeing that not only were the goods at the stall completely intact, but there was even some extra cash, he was overjoyed. To reward the dog, he gave it some money and told it to go buy whatever treats it liked. Clutching the money in its mouth, the dog set off in high spirits. However, as it passed by a flower shop, it suddenly came to a halt. Standing at the entrance of the flower shop was a little girl, on the verge of tears. It turned out she had lost the money she intended to use to buy flowers for her mother, leaving her unable to give a gift on this special day. Without a moment's hesitation, the dog produced the money it had originally intended to spend on its own treats. The little girl paused in surprise. Then, beaming with joy, she bought the flowers and left the shop. Watching the little girl's retreating figure, the dog silently gave up its own treats. With the money it had left, it bought a bouquet of flowers for its own mom. However, on the way home, the dog spotted a wallet lying on the ground. Without a second thought, it set down the flowers it was carrying, picked up the wallet in its mouth, and chased after the owner. Upon retrieving his wallet, the owner was ecstatic, showering the thoughtful dog with endless praise. But when the dog turned around, it discovered that the flowers it had bought for its own mom had been crushed flat. It hung its head low, its eyes filled with disappointment. At that very moment, an identical bouquet of flowers suddenly appeared right before it. It lifted its head and saw the little girl it had met earlier. She and her mother had turned back, solely to find the dog. She then extended the bouquet toward it. In that instant, the dog stood frozen in place. Then, gently taking the flowers in its mouth, it raced all the way home. When it placed the bouquet before its owner, the lady was utterly stunned. For that day happened to be Mother's Day. In the dog's heart, she was no longer merely its owner. She was, above all, its mom. In its own unique way, it had expressed the most sincere of loves.